Hello, this is Michael from Blue Gem Tarot. This episode, pick a card reading, is going to be called What Makes You Attractive / Popular. I want to explain this one. It will also have subdivisions, by the way, but first off, what does this mean? Because I want people to have the right idea when they will be listening to the reading. Uh, this is not something you have to do. This is not something you have to embody. This is effortless. We're not doing Windows installations or antivirus installations on the computer right now. We're not doing advanced mathematics on ourselves, not experimenting. Um, what makes you popular / attractive is going to be simply about what about you really effortlessly makes people feel attracted to you, what effortlessly calls in that popularity. And for you, it's just, for your side, it's going to be just about being aware of it and maybe tapping into it as well. It should be effortless, it does not imply any effort from your side. About the subdivisions, I will be, of course, addressing the core reading. That will be the card that you will see in the very beginning of the reading, in the intro picture. Also, I will be doing some identification so that you can help yourself with understanding whether this is your reading or not. And I also love it that, of course, I have the plot twist. Yes, I do have only 3 for now, but I think because I was registering some very good results with a list of attributes and aspects I was reviewing, I will also run through it and see with some, it's a long story, but it's some elements I can direct the reading towards. So definitely I think this is going to be so much fun. You can expect to literally see anything in this reading, the most unexpected stuff too, because I aim for this one to be also popularity and attractivity that you maybe are not even aware of. Like maybe you have this, but it's in your blind spot, or you're completely busy with something that it makes you somehow not pay attention to it. So what makes you popular / attractive, literally what effortlessly makes you attract this, okay? For the pile selections, you will have 3 seashells. You will see them in the picture. No need for me to go into detail about each form, each of the seashell form, shape, whatever. You will have the timestamps in the comment section and the description section. Pick whatever resonates, leave the rest. If you don't agree, no need to comment below. It's not necessarily going to be for everyone, so that's okay. If it doesn't resonate, don't make it fit for you individually. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll be seeing each of you in your specific pile. Okay, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. Already you have a very controversial card in reverse. Align your life, what is not aligned or needs to change. What immediately right off the bat came through, and because I love the nature of the intention I set for this reading, is the fact that you may consider yourself a person who's not necessarily neatly organized, or that you have to constantly either like prove yourself or something. I love it because I can kind of also resonate with that, but in this case, exactly the opposite of this card. Align your life, or where something needs to realign. This is exactly the message. You don't need to do anything. People love the messy you. People love when you make mistakes. People love you when you are so imperfectly perfect. That's what I heard in this case. This one heavily implies that people like it when you make bloopers, or maybe like if you're editing or if you're doing something and you think to yourself, this has to be perfect, or if you have something of let's just say, if you talk to people or if you have a situation where you have to perform or something, people love it when they see the real you. And I want to say with this card is like, don't be perfect. Like, don't be perfect in which way? Like, sometimes, like when you, let's just say, knit by hand, you inevitably can make mistakes or something like this. But it's a whole artistic process at the end of the day, and it makes me feel like specifically relevant this message is to you, because you may think to yourself that you do not have the precision of a mechanism or of a machine, but you don't have to have it to be loved in this case. And not like this talking like in the way that it's an issue or it's a shortcoming. No, quite the opposite. I would say this is exactly the metaphor or the energy of when something is handmade, and why it spikes, let's just say, in the price. It's simply because it's a soul investment of sorts. You know, it's a real human being investing their time and energy into something, and I feel like this is exactly what makes you attractive and popular. This is like people perceive you as a phenomenon. You know, this is not something that you have to go about perfecting in this case. Okay, people love the raw, messy, and I say these things because they can fit your vocabulary perhaps, but I don't like these words. I feel like this is exactly like the perfection of imperfection. You know, that's how I can neatly organize it as a message. For this one, I will not necessarily go into subdivisions because I can feel like everything is molding together, mixing together in here. Um, I can see that you are very lovable. I can see that you are very desired. I feel like this is the case also where you are being spotlighted, so to speak. It's like people like how you are, how you go about things. Like, no, you know, this is not like, in language terms, this would be like maybe you're not using always the right words for something, let's just say, not saying that literally this is your case, but how you how you think about it, how you unite those words. For example, if you were to be a person who speaks, like, let's just say, another language, or you're still learning, this raw expression is really very, very beautiful. It's like very lovable. It's everything about you seems to be very lovable. And when I say seems, because almost as if you don't believe it for some reason, or I'm not seeing, I see you on a treadmill. That's how it feels to me, at least from my side. But yeah, it's like we do have in here some people with perfectionism. That's going to be from the identification. You don't have to do anything in here. I don't see you like engaging like or going on a specific perfection spree, or you need like a plan. No, it's like, you know, express. In terms of attractivity, again, this is coming through as very distinct, very raw, very lovable, very relatable as well. I saw in here very, very real. Like, you have a lot of people in here who want to connect to you if you were simply to express yourself in the open. Or and from the popularity side, I would say this is very artistic. This is something very artistic that's coming through. um, we could be dealing with people who are like more, let's just say, expressive slash artistic in this pile. Doesn't have to be necessarily, but something about you thinking that you have to be orderly is simply messing with the reading and saying like, no, you don't have to be. You're actually lovable. Even like, and even better, like, I would suggest that you be messy. You like make mistakes. Like, people do love your realness in this case. Like, they love how authentic, how like they crave your expression. I would say this is perhaps the best example or expression of this. And you're not that far. Like, I feel like you're thinking of yourself as, you know, I have to fix that, I have to work with this, I have to whatever. No, I feel like it's quite the opposite. You don't have to, or it's not that far as you think. It could be that you can have some very high standards of yourself or expectations, or even like thinking of yourself as like falling behind, or I didn't reach that, or I don't have that yet. I would say more or less like 80% of what you already represent is enough to call in that rest, which is, I would say money is the rest, or like, when the person really embodies, and you do have that. When the person embodies the value, really doesn't have to go that far to like complete itself. Just the rest is like a confirmation, like the money or the status or whatever the case may be. With Seven of Swords in here, this representation, people love it when specifically you become like, let's just say, reasonably vulnerable, because it feels like your expression to the world or to people in the context of popularity and attractivity makes you very relatable and very fun to hang around. Like, it makes me feel like you're that kind of friend who is not afraid to necessarily say what's going on, and everyone keeps laughing because this was so true. Like, this is so true on so many levels. That's the energy of it. Like, with Seven of Swords, maybe almost as if like you, like, that realness, that authenticity, that those crazy like moments when you blur something out or you say something that's like, almost like forbidden, but actually it's so funny and it's actually so true. That's like what makes you very, in this case for this reading, very popular slash attractive. What also like comes through as like very attractive, it's the fact that you're the type of person who can potentially make fun of a situation, and it doesn't look like it's bad. For other people, in other instances, people would perceive it as being maybe embarrassing. For you, it's like so well, it's managed so well that it actually makes you feel like you added on to that charisma because you handle it pretty like well. And almost like I can feel like you're not giving yourself credit. Let's just be honest about that. I don't feel like you're giving yourself enough credit for what's happening in here. I feel like you can, like, let's just say, weasel out of situations really quickly and really well, and you can actually gain reputation for that on top of things. So that's really good. We have Six of Wands. That's the victory card. I see this as a sort of a fascination, recognition. Some people, I don't know what these are. Maybe past people. You know better than me who these people are. But you have some people in here thinking um, of you as being much farther in life than you actually think of yourself as, like being much better at things yeah, in general it makes me feel like they see you as being ahead in life. And it doesn't have to, like, from my standpoint, it doesn't have to mean necessarily like concrete things. This could be talking about on a spectrum from literally potential to physical things. So roughly this means that you don't have to necessarily have the physical manifestation of something for it to be yours, in the sense that people can feel that you were meant, for example, for big things, or I hate saying that and not clarifying. So that means you can see that the person is aiming for something or has the taste for, let's just say, expensive things, and that means they have to live with this mentality. They have to live or have to align with a life that's like more expensive, so to speak. So with this Six of Wands as a recognition card, it's as if it's in your blood, that's how it feels, at least to me, looking at this. And it's very almost intimidating in a way of sorts, I would say, because looking at this card and how menacing it looks, it definitely gives off this kind of energy. And something keeps coming back into this reading for pile number one, in the sense that you are not far away. Like, something about your perception seems to be talking about a dimension of you thinking that you have to yet accomplish and confirm a lot of things for you. It's as if, like, maybe I can feel like I was born for big things, or for this and for that, or for a good relationship, or for whatever, but I'm not seeing a reflection of that. And it's like, I have to work hard or something like this. No, I don't feel like this is the case. There is no proving oneself in this pile that has to take place. Quite the opposite. It's like more so you have to fall in to the actual acknowledgement or self-acknowledgement that it's yours. It's like it wouldn't make sense for you to have an expensive taste and to not live that kind of life, or if you don't, then it's a temporary setback, or it all circles back to the idea that it's meant to happen because the desire is there. That's how I can explain it in this case. I think in and of itself, this is the plot twist that I was talking about. It's a very disproportionate sensation that you have in here related to your self, your image that you have of yourself. There is a discrepancy in here that I would like to address. It's like the exterior, the people, have a more accurate description of who you are or a better understanding of your worth than you. And there is a perception of sorts where people see you in a much better light than you see yourself as, or there is like almost like I have some people in here thinking that they are not lucky, I'm like this an unlucky person, or that I want this or I deserve this and it doesn't happen. It's as if the blind spot in here would be about not believing that it can be for you like this even if you desire it, or it's like I cannot understand it. Like it's as if the person is really good at something but they see themselves as flawed even if they are very masterful at it, and they are not necessarily, let's just say, impeccable, or like you cannot be like flawless at everything, but it's like that's in and of itself the thing that's very like human and lovable at the same time. So the blind spot in here definitely lies, or the plot twist lies in the self-worth. Similarly to what I also was picking up on in the previous readings, it's a very all-encompassing feeling that's coming through with this pile, and it's very nourishing. It could be, aside from the nourishing bit, what this reminds me of, it's a person who is like water for a drought period of time in people's lives, and you cannot quite see yourself as fitting, or you don't quite understand or see how you seamlessly integrate yourself perfectly just like people want, or just like they wished it to be. You seem to be thinking of yourself in a much more general, common way, where nothing about you in this case feels common. If anything, everything feels in here like it's very maximalistic, almost like perfectionistic at the same time, and like always on their mind for the new, like always looking at the next milestone or something like this. So yeah, but yeah, it's like very powerful impressions that you have over people, and you don't understand how much you affect them, again, on an effortless level. Seems like also I have a message about past, so, and again, this is like the same card in reverse, Seven of Swords. It's the Seven of Air in this case, but two of them, two of the same card. This could be also a message about the fact that people felt like you were very real, very authentic, very open, because Seven of Swords, trickery in reverse, it's like I see you being awakened from a very long time, in the sense of purity, authenticity, being direct, being straightforward, being very, let's just say, accustomed to the reality of being direct and never sneaky with people, very genuine. Okay, very for some it could be genuine, for some it could be open, for some it could be um, open, direct, authentic, real. Okay, and that's like something that's coming through from the people, is like they seem to be gravitating towards you, and it's a very lovely situation where the popularity in here, or the attractivity, stems not from like a lustful place. um oh my god, okay, never mind, I received a message from like a relative that their manifestation is working, and I was instructing them. Oh my god, I'm so proud. uh this is pure. Okay, not me catching feelings, emotions right now. It feels like you're very pure and established in that purity from a very long time, and people feel like this is very, like, they're almost like afraid to lust over it. They're very hypnotized and very like entranced by the feeling of having you, and this is effortless like popularity, effortless attractivity. Oh, that's amazing. That's actually amazing. And again, this is very like, speaking about content creation or whatever the case may be, in this case, the interactions that you do have with people, maybe you don't think of them as being very significant. Okay, maybe you don't. Maybe, like, literally not me tempted to resonate and pick that pile, because I almost catch myself, not almost, like catch myself doing that, but you don't ascribe as much meaning to it, but people do, and they appreciate it. They appreciate your kindness in here. They appreciate your realness, okay? And it's very beautiful. It's very, it's dense in the best way possible, okay? Okay, and also, you are enough. That came through from the validational element that I installed into the reading. Not only you are enough, you exceed at the worth. It's even greater than you think, and it's very desirable, in the sense that you're very like, people have a need for you. They feel like you're being seen as a needed person. Like, I'm not sure what's the situation with the belonging in here, but you are something of a sort of a prize. I don't like talking about it in such a way, but it makes people really want to pursue you because of the value that you do have. And there is one kind of risky message in here that I think I want to drop. I will just accommodate it to the reading, to the platform, but you have in here potentially some people who are really ready to pursue you, like in some radical forms, in, let's just say, not radical, not good word for that, but in very stubborn slash real way. Like, you don't understand how lovable, desirable, and how eager some people could be to fight for you. Okay, that's as friendly as I can put it in here, because yeah. Thank you so much for watching. That's it, pile number 1. I hope it resonated. That was very specific. That was very refreshing. I was trying to change the subject a bit for the topic of the reading. Anyways, another elaborate process that I undergone. Pretty sure none of these two was correct. But never mind. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out the other videos on the channel that I have. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If it resonated, make sure to comment below how it resonated for you if you want. Don't come at me foaming at the mouth if it didn't resonate, or if you don't agree with the reading. I'm gonna come back foaming at the mouth as well if you're going to do that. So let's just keep our foams to ourselves. Make sure to donate if you want. Give me all your riches. Just kidding. No, just give me all of them. No, just kidding. Not. The links are going to be in the comment section and the description section. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to hear from you in the future readings. Take care. Okay, pile number 2. This has to be by far the most maximalistic energy. It's super colorful, super rich, it's super flashy, and very, it could be also extroverted, but very out there. It's very like, see me, like look at me, I'm like dazzling, something like this. This is so funny. Already from the identification standpoint, the people who chose pile number 2, you most likely don't like to sit in the shadows, or you're like high achiever, or you can have a very maximalistic mindset. Because I'm like literally not gonna lie, this is the overabundance of color in here and the explosion in here coming from this Ace of Wands. It talks about a very like it's a richness of like character or persona in here that's like coming through. What I heard specifically in regards to, and I don't know, it's in regards to or in regard to, I keep hearing both, so I don't know which one is right. But in regards to your topic, this is something very strange, but I'm gonna still call it out. I feel like this reading could come off to you as a confirmation. Most likely you can have something going for you in your life already that can be called popular or attractive. You could be very aware of it. So the difference between the previous pile and this one is the fact that you're very aware, and it's very apparent to you what's happening in this case with this topic and how it applies to you. This is a very prevalent awareness over what's actually going on. So I don't feel like we're dealing with issues with self-worth or something like this. So it's a very contrasting experience. I wanted to say that you have in here some people saying, but you have this as a label. This person will go very far. This person is expensive. This person is a very, it's like an asset, or it could be also that high potential, like very, like this is giving off popularity energy. This is giving off, I don't like throwing words such as celebrity or popular person, or yeah, celebrity, but something about your character really enjoys and really like attracts as a magnet that kind of fortune, that kind of attention, that kind of spotlight. Maybe what could be missing in here is like, maybe it's not driven to the point of completion. Can be the case with the ever unfolding rose in reverse, but it's like, when I say that you are meant to be in the center of attention, I literally mean it, because looking at this, like, you have a lot to show to the world. Like, I'm not lying. Like, this is so. And what I love about your pile is that this energy is very eagerly met and almost very similar to another pile. Like, it's consumed. Okay, you can literally have, if not already, situations where people are waiting for you, where people are wanting to, like, choosing you out of the rest, or if it's a job situation, if it's a hobby situation, whatever. It's like, I want this thing to be done by them and no other person, or like they are my favorite. Okay, They are my favorite. I don't want to have any other person doing that task. I don't want the other person to handle this issue or situation. They are the best at what they're doing. So you have an abundance of people in here, and it's seemingly also met with, like, it's not a kind of forced popularity or not a forced story where you have to perform or something, but it's literally from the side of the people. This is very, like, very much so craving, like people having cravings over you. Okay, kind of weird, but that's what I can see. In terms of attractivity and attractiveness, actually, I was corrected on this one, and I was like, yeah, can't say it didn't sting, but it's with attractiveness in here, it will play itself out that people adore and they want to see you, like real hard. They want to see you, like point blank, period. Like that's I borrowed this one. Um, I don't see like an exception. Like I don't care. Like I hear people saying I don't care. I don't care. I have to see them. I have to make sure that I see them. I want to see them. Like it's very stubborn, okay? And it seems like people are being called in by your aura, by your energy. This is the type of person to walk into the room and everyone is paying attention to them, or everyone is treating them in a very important manner. Um, Again, this will vary on the spectrum with people who have this already and people who know that they want this and they are deserving to have it, or they will meet this energy at some point in their life. You'll find the people will find this reading on a spectrum, but for you it's like definitely it's either the point where it's happening, or it has to happen, or you desire it and therefore it's yours. But what people love, it's the also very expressive nature, very promising, very maximalistic. This is like maximalism is definitely something that can be ascribed to pile number 2. This is like, and it's not judgy. I don't like this, like, there are humble ways to live life and there are some expensive ways to live life. Each has its own virtue, but what I want to say in here is like people adore the fact that you are, the fact that you could be maybe even pretentious or capricious, or you can have high standards and then being like, I really love that they're so outspoken. Knowing your worth, knowing your standards, knowing who you are, knowing that you deserve the best. Like this is like refined taste. This is like very people adore the fact that you are not afraid, like you're not meek, you're not sitting there in the shadows expecting someone to choose for you, or you're like taking it all, like taking all the the goodies to yourself. And it's like also it's kind of coming through as deserved. I'm not sure that I see it, like it's very open. It's very like what you receive you also give to the world. So I don't see it as like a situation where you're like hoarding it or something. But I would also want to speak from the identification and also validation standpoint, that the expensive taste, the maximalistic type of lifestyle in your case is very good. Um, it's very much so encouraged by the cards. So it's like, if you want a person to be inspired and to give the best results ever, you have to make sure that you give them the best tools for that. So that's exactly the story about you. The plot twist for your pile is going to be about expansion, and with the Wheel of Fortune, maybe you could have relied on yourself for a very long time um, to succeed, to really like advance. And I can see that the plot twist in here is it's coming through as like a sort of an up leveling situation where you're no longer, let's just say, fending for yourself. In this case it's like you're being aided, helped, or you gain an extra level or layer of exposure, or let's just say, fame or attention, or like a bonus of sorts that certainly enhances everything in here for you. I can see in here from some words slash concept standpoint that it's very encouraged for you to expand and to explore that kind of feeling, or that kind of desire to have it all. I see it as an expansion of sorts. This, like, it's like an evolution. It's almost like some people have to reach some milestones, like it, and it could be, it could fit the story or the concept that this is their mission. So I would say this is like, it's like, if you can, like, this pile can have situations where, like, regular people would say, like, this is unrealistic, this is not so wise, or this is not appropriate, maybe you should lower your standards, or maybe like stuff like that. You could have situations where people are like, they should be humbled or something like this, okay? I see a sort of a crazy idea, or like a sort of a stubborn, crazy concept situation where you'd be like, yes, I know I want this. Let's say you want to collect, I don't know, you want to have a huge collection of some, let's just say, very expensive dresses, of all types or something like this, and it's meant to be because you really want it. And for some people, they could say it's exaggerated or something. No, it's like very, very, like a huge encouragement in this reading to make it happen for you. Why this is the case? Looking through the lens of the topic, it's as if there is some sort of impact, effect, or general like impact that you'll have over the masses, over people, that will make them benefit out of it. Again, it's like when you have, let's just say, a very good painter, you naturally want to give them the best like types of paint or the best brushes. You don't give them the most or the cheapest ones and say it, or you don't give them the cheapest materials and just say to them, it's enough for you. Like, it's, you just have to be humble. No, it's quite the opposite. You just want to make sure that you give them all the means in which they can expand. For you, it's kind of like a lifestyle, I'm not gonna lie, but it carries out like very good consequences over the other people, and that's why I feel like it's very much so encouraged. Also, what seems to be the case in here, it's like this could be involving others, in the sense that, you could have maybe a team, or maybe you can have like a very, like, this genuinely reminds me of a show. I don't know why, but it's like it involves other people too, but it's like a whole era. Okay, this is very this is very weird because it's coming through in that kind of way, but yeah, it's nonetheless very real, very apparent to me as a reader. Also, what came through was the fact that you can have a very particular slash defined and deep sense or understanding over what you want. So it's like, yes, I could potentially want a rich lifestyle, but for you it's like a very specific rich lifestyle, or a very specific need, or like some people like jewelry, but you can have a very particular taste for it. So I feel like what seems to be very attractive in here and also very popular about you is the fact that you could be outspoken in your preference, and at the same time it's like in the most cases, like in the most regular cases, it's like people could be very judgmental about it. However, because your energy carries the confidence or the feeling like you claim it, in your case it comes through as like a sort of an applause or a recognition that you know what you're going for, or that you know what you're aiming for. So it's like they like you for being almost like fantastically confident, but at the same time realistic or very pragmatic about it. So it's like not a wishful feel wishful thinking situation, but it's like, no, I want to be rich, and I'm gonna tell you what kind of house, I'm gonna tell you what kind of car I want, I'm gonna also tell you what kind of jewelry I'll be wearing. So that's like the, if I were to give you an example. So this is not like a very boastful, I want to say this is like strangely coming through as a person who's coming in life to claim what they resonate with, and not necessarily something that they have to fight for or something that they have to boast about so as to boost their confidence. I feel like the confidence bit in here is very powerful. And you could be also coming through as very magnetic and also like a master at what you do. So definitely, again, like from the card selection, I can see in here very refined structures, very rich, very rich, a richness in a lot of things, and not even covering the money bit. This is like a whole lifestyle that I can say it's like a very expensive lifestyle that's coming through. I don't know how this will resonate with everyone, but I'm sure that you can pick the bits and pieces how it applies to your life. This doesn't have to be like talking about millions like of dollars. It could be, you know, I'm not kidding, like this could literally be the case. But for some people it's like, I want to have like a very decent house in a very specific country, and like that's my wish fulfillment there, and there I go. Like this could, it could manifest like this. Some people can be resonating with a very luxurious job, or I don't know, this literally this kind of maximalistic type of lifestyle can get itself mirrored in various ways. So it, for some of you it could manifest itself as a relationship, as a person treating you that way. Maybe someone wants a business in here that's literally delving into like luxurious and expensive things, can also be the case. So this resonates, but what unites all these scenarios in one, it's like the fact that you're really confident about it and you're like going for it. You have no, there is no like moon in reverse, there is no indecision, there is no like the phase where you didn't know, or the phase where you weren't sure about it is quite gone. Okay, let's just be quite honest about this. Like you know what you're going for. This is not the energy of being uncertain or confused. Very close to who you are as a core, as a person, very close to the true notions of what you represent. So that's a very advanced slash matured type of stance. So it's not like very juvenile or fresh perspective, I want to try things out. No, it's like we know what we're going for. That's the energy I can pick up on. I wanna also add that you command a lot of respect. You command a lot of attention to the point where it actually feels like it's singular, or it's like a bit not like, not gonna lie, this is like very almost like intimidating, but I'm not gonna be the one to say like good bad, because I don't like the it's like I like stating the facts in the reading. And what I see in here is like a situation where that definition of what you want for others, it could be coming forth as almost like flamboyant, exaggerated, or even cocky, you know, or it's like arrogant. But in your case, like I don't have time for that. Like I'm not gonna sit there lie to myself or to the world that I think that I don't deserve all of this. So it's like, you know, it's very it's like, you know, if you want a cat that's very let's just say, like, I'm not sure, like I'm saying it, I'm not saying it correctly perhaps. Like if you want a very capricious and very expensive cat and you really want it, then you better take care that you actually can afford it. So that's like the story of pile number 2. It's like, if you really want if you want me in your life, if you want my services, if you want the things that I create to affect you in the best way possible, then you'd better afford it, because the artist needs the best tools ever. So yeah, that's literally the lived story of pile number 2. So yeah. I also heard that, unapologetic. I came in this life to savor it, to assert myself, to assert my being. Like that's what's coming through. And I love it. It's very it's very also like kind of speaking about the controversial bit I was covering in pile number 1. Is like, this is very polarizing, so it means that you will either have people who will absolutely love and adore and support you, and you'll also have perhaps people who are going to be like, maybe I'm not quite sure about that, I don't want this, or I'm not sure I agree, or it's like very polarizing, a very polarized experience in this case. So that's kind of it, pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching. That was your energy. It was very defined. It was very, very expensive. I kept on saying that all over the reading. If it resonated, make sure to comment below how it did. Most curious to find out what's happening in here. I was constantly looking at the Wheel of Fortune, as you will see from the picture, and the Ace of Wands, plus the ever-expanding rose, and like these three, they gave me the impression of like everything I was covering in the reading. But when I say that I am surprised by how flashy all of this is, I literally mean it, because I've never seen such a vivid message being shown, both like color wise, energy wise, and also picture wise. Like it's very powerfully and finely interlinked, these three cards at least. So yeah, make sure to check out the other videos on the channel if you want. Subscribe if you're not already. Like the video, don't forget to do that. And also don't forget to give me all of your riches by donating to the channel. You have the links in the comment section and the description section. You don't have to, but I'm just here to mention it, just so you know. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to hear from you in the future readings. Take care. Okay, pile number 3, welcome to your reading. This is already a very distinct information that came through, simply because you have the central card, Keepers of the Earth. What makes you attractive / popular? I will go by each element, or I will try to mix them together, but what I was picking up was some quality of being spiritual, ethereal, or in general very different, in a quality of being that's very like thin. I cannot understand, I don't know how to explain it to you, but it's a very aloof / very like fragile but like ethereal / spiritual sense that people get from you. So this is like, if you are delving into spirituality, if you are practicing something, or in general, if you could be a person who's like, you could literally be a person who's just called by this element. And what I was picking up is exactly this quality of being otherworldly that seems to be making people really attracted to you. But this goes really beyond the physical aspect, so to speak, because there is more. There is, it's like, because it's otherworldly, it makes me feel like people find themselves attracted to you, but it's in a way where it's not invasive, or it's commanding like very like pristine respect, or people are really afraid to mess things up. It's a very beautiful energy, to be quite fair with you, simply because it shows me that your attractivity stems from simply a different like element, and it's very it's reminding me of the refined energy I was talking about in my previous readings, and I was touching on this with another pile. But definitely spirituality, definitely feeling like immaculate, feeling like almost like a walking angel of sorts. You could have, I heard, people complimenting you on things that you just randomly could find fascinating because you have people mirroring your attributes, okay? And it's like this is no, like it feels very pure. It's not manipulative. It's not like attention seeking, but you do call that in with not alone, and the ancestors stand beside you. This makes me feel like you a little bit underestimate how much you're actually loved or how deep this love runs, because the phenomenon of you seems to be touching people really really deep, to the point where the person doesn't confuse you with another person, or when they preserve you in their memory, so to speak, whether it be X whatsoever, I don't know. This makes me feel like you are not a person to really forget. So I don't know, like maybe some of you had to hear this, but in general, the feeling I get about pile number 3, it's like when I look at a very like when light touches like a jewel, for example, and it seems to mesmerize you. It makes you really drown in the all the types of light that's being reflected. It's like a very almost entranced feeling. That's how people feel about you, and it's a very pure, almost reverent feeling. Okay, with ancestors in here, the story. I like to interpret the cards in all kinds of ways. This is like talking about some sort of pride of lineage. This is coming through as like being proud of you and also being proud to be chosen by you, okay? It's a very, let's just say, you can call people in, but once you do, you tend to purify, or your presence tends to purify those people really, really well, to the point that, my God, this feels like you are. This is so strange, as usual, for pile number 3. But you're like radiating this light that almost like burns the impurities of people. And when it comes to the popularity, attractivity, this is not the usual like popularity, and like it's coming through as if you embody something greater, but then again, it really seems to be covering like to cover the rest, such as the feeling drawn to, magnetized by you effortlessly, quite effortlessly. So it comes really as a byproduct of that, and you're like not even necessarily aware of it, or you're not even like paying attention deliberately so as to like call that in, so to speak again. And popularity in this case could be ranging from a sense of remembrance in your case, and we have the situation where people feel called or drawn to you to stay, to hang around, hang about, to hang up, or to be in your aura, in your presence in general. That's how it feels. Something about you really feels realigning to the core. I want to say though, because we have the death in reverse and the, oh god, we have twice the Queens of Cups in reverse and the Four of Pentacles in reverse. That's not the first time, by the way. Another pile had a similar situation with another card, but fascinating. Fascinating simply because with death in reverse, I was picking up on the fact that people they cannot catch up. They feel like they are not able to catch up. Not catch up, but like catch up, you know, just in case things get blurry. Okay, that was necessary. I feel like genuinely with this Queen of Cups, there is a strong, unbelievable feeling of disappointment and sadness. Whew, this is really tough, but it's coming through as not mature or feeling like they are out of your league. Or okay, I don't know which one's the case. Okay, I'm gonna just say it how it is. I'm a bit never mind, but people feel like they don't measure up. Should have started with this. Okay, with these queens in here in reverse, it's like it's a bit exaggerated. It's a bit personal. You feel like a scarce natural resource. That's not funny. But to me, it's like, you know, you treat everyone with kindness. You treat everyone with utmost like respect and almost like reverence. I don't know, this is so interesting. And all of that seems to be making the deal, or seems to be making you, or simply calling you that legend, that phenomenon, pile number 3. Like, that's how it feels to me. People are not ready to let you go. Seems like I have some additional slash necessary information I have to tell, because these cards like literally scream and abuse me right now with messages. But like 4 of Pentacles, I'm not ready to let you go. I know it's in reverse, but I dictate the rules in here, okay? Anyway, with this death in reverse, unfathomable. That's how you feel. Unfathomable and unfathomably positive. You have the assessment of people, and also there is word of mouth. Relevant, very relevant for pile number 3, of course, but it's very good reputation. Even if, let's just say we had instances where people, let's pretend you had people who try to like get at you. It's not something that really is important to be mentioned, because that really gets blurred away. It gets, why did I want to say decimated? It really gets dissolved, because there is a lot of reassurance, there is a lot of like reconfirmation about your nature, about who you are, and a lot of positive things, okay? A lot of positive reputation is coming through. It's like almost unbelievable reputation, okay? The plot twist in here is going to be about unbelievable like roots and how deep this goes. Maybe you're not aware of it, maybe you're not very tuned into it, can be the case also, but you have this effect on people that runs really deep and again, unforgettable. I want to say the rest, it's like very close to the idea of not being fully understood, but whatever you got for yourself going there with this Keepers of the Earth, it seems like it's awakening not only you but the other people around you, in a sense of like abundance, joy, and like a fresh breath of air. That's how pile number 3 feels to me. And unfortunately though, even if we have that, there is a situation where, because the contrast of you and the world is so big, it can happen that it so happens that people feel threatened to go back to how life went without you. And this goes really in many different forms and ways. Some people get used to your presence so much that they don't want to go. You can have some people like really feeling sticky, or like they want to talk, they want to say. You can have a lot of people. How you'll resonate with that? You can have people talking to you and dropping some very strange details and being very descriptive about their life, to the point where you're like, I know about this person more than I know about myself. And did I ask you something? No, I didn't, but still, I still got it. Like, the information. You could literally have a lot of information of people, about people. So there is also, like, this is strongly suggesting some sort of, okay, this is strange, but this is like temple, spirituality, church. I don't know. This is what I'm picking up on, actually. Not gonna lie. Like, this is what I see. So it's as if people don't want to get too close so as to not taint or to not like weigh you down with their issues, but generally it feels like they can't get enough of you. Okay? And it's generally very upsetting for some reason. I've seen here a lot of upset simply because, and it's strangely, it's very like, how can you give me such an experience like pile number 3? Why did I meet that person and I don't have access to them, where I can't get enough of them? That's something that really bugs them, like that's the it feels like unfair. I see a lot of people like throwing tantrums in here, like grown people throwing tantrums, and when like it's too comfy to get comfortable with you, it's like, they don't want to go back. That's how it feels. And I feel like this is like a situation where people have to take on the example of you and learn to be a little bit independent, because I can feel like what you teach or what you embody is easily accessible to others. However, the situation in here pans out differently, where the person is actually looking for depending on you and actually having you provide for them. So that's kind of like, that's not what I want for this collective. But if you want to feel really proud of yourself, which you should, it's to know, in this case, that you do affect people in very pure, real and authentic slash, it's really effortless. To me, it's funny because this topic doesn't fully comprehend, or doesn't fully, let's just say, take on the actual true value of who you are, because this is like it's more than that. Like, I keep hearing, it's not even hearing, I'm not hearing things, I'm just like in my mind filtering them out. It's like what I keep registering is the fact that you have the attractive and the popular, and it's more than that. Okay, for you it feels like you are genuinely, so like, I'm gonna probably pick every single pile, but for it's like you have a single purpose and you're like living your life in accordance with it, and people are just fascinated by the results of it. So congratulations, I want to say, but almost like life with you without you is like a little bit unfair, and it's almost like throwing people into pits of despair. Okay, maybe not your issue really, but that's what I can see. A lot of emotionally dependent on you, and it's like very raw. We don't have the kings in here, we have the queen, so it's very raw. It's very like tapping into the vulnerabilities of people, and yeah, kind of strange. It's like, you could be presented or shown or be like almost like the end result, and with death in reverse, like, I don't know how to reach that kind of level. Like, I don't know how to embody that myself. Like, I have a lot of questions for pile number 3. That's how it feels. Like, You have people genuinely wanting to relive, reinvent, re-establish new forms of like let me redesign my life so that I can have the chance to experience what you bring or what you embody, so that I can actually go about doing that myself. That's so weird, but it's what it is. Okay, I want to say, from the empowering standpoint, I see some very fascinating things. I feel like this is exactly the message of you make people want to live. You make people almost like awakened in their purpose. How is that? I don't know. I'm just channeling, okay? Just channeling in here, okay? But like, you make people want to do something, okay? You make them feel like they feel alive, you know. That's the scary bit. It's like they've never felt as alive as they do when they are with you. That's not poem right now, but not me rhyming anyway. uh to me it's like comfortable but addictive at the same time. Like, that's how I would describe your energy. And the plot twist in here, you don't know how attached people get to you. You cannot fully comprehend in what ways. And to me, what's fascinating in here is also the fact that they get attached to you in different ways. I don't know how exactly that filters in with your information, with your situation, but it's like somebody really likes you as a friend and wants to be your best friend and wants to be with you all the time, every single day. Some person feels like they are no longer sad and worried when you are around. Some person really feels safe with you. Another one really likes to talk to you and they feel like they are rediscovering life when you're around. Like, that's how addictive this feels, and on how many levels. I'm not sure if you are necessarily aware of this because it may not be readily apparent or available. However, what I feel inclined to say is the fact that prepare yourself. You're gonna have situations where you're literally going to choose. You're going to have to choose, or you're going to have to prioritize different people, because I feel like the demand is going to rise really high. And like what you see right now, maybe you're meant to somehow create something that would spread that, you know? Maybe that's the thing. But I don't know, this feels like the more people get to know you, the better they like you, and the more like sweet it feels. Then it's like irresistible, to the point where the person really wants to be around you all day, every day. And that kind of feels a little smothering to me. But you know, if it suits you, not here to judge. Anyway, I really love what's going on in here. Yeah, I really love it. So, yeah, I hope it resonated. That's kind of it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out the other videos on the channel. I have some like interesting content there. If you want, you can choose another pile. You can read like and listen to listen, because yeah, I'm reading in here. You can do that. Don't have to. You can donate your riches to me if you want. The links are going to be in the comment section and the description section. If you don't, that's okay. I'm not gonna be upset for very long. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to hear from you in the future readings. Take care.